as well.
Yeah. So before we get to the football stuff, you mentioned you got iCryo and then working with your team on the business side. Talk about getting into that a little bit, just because I feel like a lot of players, while they're still playing, don't get into that stuff. But it seems like you were pretty into it early. So just talk about that and just maybe how you had some mentors in your life that maybe influenced you to use the resources that you have and use the name and image that you have right now.
Though honestly, I wanted to be an entrepreneur since I was 11 years old. Then when I was 7 years old, when I started playing football, that's when I knew that I had a dream to play in the NFL, and just kind of envisioned that coming true. So with both of these things, I was able to understand the value of a relationship. And how to maximize your brand, your platform to, being able to leverage it the right way. I learned that at an early age, and just being a very observant guy. I learned that from my mom. I'm a mama's boy, so hence why I stayed close to home. Going to Notre Dame, I didn't want to be too far. But being in the business world and industry, it's a whole different terminology. It's a whole different language. It has a lot of the same principles of being an athlete, leadership, accountability, just being a man of your word, all of that good stuff. And it takes time. For me, having a redshirt year, my rookie year, after, tearing my ACL, LCL, peritoneal nerve damage, in my final collegiate game at Notre Dame in the Fiesta Bowl, I had a lot more time on my hands. And how I allocated it was, I would go to work. I would do my rehab. I would watch film with all the guys. I would watch the games with all the guys. And then after my afternoon, rehab session, I would go home. After meetings, and I would dive right into business. A lot of it was learning, and at first, and just putting myself in those uncomfortable situations. From a guy from the south side town of Fort Wayne, Indiana. I didn't know anything about, what an ROI meant, or how to read a financial dashboard, or to be able to really sit in board meetings and add substantial value, because I didn't know what I didn't know. But for me, it was about I've always been a sponge, soaking everything in. And that's really what helped me learn to where I can, I can really operate in that business space now, being an active investor in private equity, real estate, venture capital, sitting on a board seat, having, some LP investments, being a general partner in a couple firms, and all of this good stuff that I've been exposed to, just maximizing not only my Dallas Cowboy network, but my Notre Dame network, and just access to quality people that's been in my life. I've had a couple mentors that I to this day I continue to seek. We all need help. We can't do it alone. We don't know this information on our own. But the fact that I have a business management team that or a family office that helps me run my entire enterprise, I'm able to focus on being an employee and locking in. And a lot of the success I've had is because of that, and that comfortability of having governance, people helping me with my enterprise, knowing exactly where every dollar is going, and to the point where I'm not doing everything on my own and then having to worry about playing. It's important to have experts on your team. So big shout out to Mike Lito and Rise Sports Advisors, for helping make everything calm for me to be able to lock in.